going out there tonight?
Whoa. You stumped me now.
Check out our website, mannimalresearch.com. Thanks to everybody. Hello. How's it going out there tonight? Hope everyone is doing well. Whether you're watching it live with us tonight or going to catch it later, we sure do appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us for a little while. As you guys can see, I am flying solo tonight. Buddy Walls was not able to make it, got tied up at work, so pretty sure I can handle it. We got our guest tonight, Mr. Mark and Miss Tanya, husband and wife, out of Texas. They are backstage getting ready to come on. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, literally seconds before we were going to go live. They lost connection, but they are back, and I see him now. And he just texted me. It appears that everything is good. So got a good show lined up for you guys tonight. Let's see who we got hanging out with us. Greg, what's up, buddy? Mr. Greg Smith, as always. And speaking of as always, Miss Sandra Piper, how you doing, ma'am? Stash Man, how's it going, buddy? Parkway, Flat Rock Booger, what's up, buddy? Sharon and Judy Wheeler also says Facebook user. I don't know why they don't give the name when that happens, but I'm going to pull it up real quick and see if we can't figure out if we got anybody from Facebook. Yep, Donnie Castle and Patrick Walsh and Mr. Jeff Rayburn is here as well. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Like I said, we got Mark and Tanya on tonight. They are going to discuss a couple of encounters that they have had in Texas. And what was cool about Mark was Mark reached out to me, I guess maybe not even a month ago, and offered up some property that he had just bought. Said if we at Mannimal ever wanted to go outside of our regular area and come check out some other area, he offered it up to us. He had just bought some land in Oklahoma. Bought it so he and his wife could have a hunting, put a little hunting cabin on and a little just a getaway. Like I said, they're in Texas and they bought some property in Oklahoma. And apparently on this mountain, there's been some Bigfoot activity. So he's also going to be doing some research on that property. And he offered us, Mannimal, he offered for us to come hang out and do some research out there. And I'd love to take him up on that here in the near future. That would be nice. All right. Guys, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button. Sure would appreciate it. We are knocking on the door of 1,500. Should be there before long, and that's awesome. So help us get there, guys. Mannimal Research on Facebook. You've got a Facebook, so you might as well be a part of our group. So head on over there and join the group. Also, as always, guys, tonight, feel free to ask questions. But we ask, like always, that you put those questions in all caps. Just makes it a little bit easier to spot those and get the question over to the guests. Be happy to do that. And I apologize in advance if I miss anybody's question. It's not on purpose at all. It's just I'm by myself and I just didn't see it, didn't get to it. It's not on purpose. And if you ask it and I don't get to it, you feel free to ask it again. Maybe I'll see it on that second go around. All right. Got a few more that has jumped in here tonight. Don't really have a whole lot to go over as far as Mannimal and our group. We are putting together an expedition. I got contacted from a gentleman that lives a little bit south of Atlanta. And for those of you that don't know, I'm in southeast Tennessee, and Walls is in North Georgia, and we have several members in Georgia. It's where most of our members are, actually. And this gentleman contacted me. He's about 60 miles south of Atlanta, and said he's got 100 acres of property down there. And for the last 10 years, he has had Bigfoot on his property. He has seen them. He also says something about Dogman. I believe those encounters have been more recent. But yeah, he invited us, asked us to come down. Like I said, he's got 100 acres and gonna go down for a few days and camp, about 4 or 5 of us. And definitely when that happens, we'll keep you guys up with what we find down there. But we're excited. We are excited about that. All right, and it actually there is something that I need to hit on real quick. Greg, if you hear me, send me that picture of the young lady that you're asking me to get the word out. Send me the picture of that flyer again real quick. I should have done this before the show, but it slipped my mind. But I'll try to get it on there real quick if you'll send it. Apparently in North Georgia, in the Chickamauga area, there's a young lady that has gone missing. She's been missing for about a week and a half, 10 days now, I guess. And parents are getting, obviously, goes without saying, are getting very worried. And I think they found out that someone had purchased the young lady a bus ticket to North Carolina, but she doesn't know anyone in North Carolina. They don't know anyone in North Carolina, and I don't know Here, he's sending it to me now. Don't know the whole story, but if you guys will bear with me, please, just for a couple of minutes, I want to get this up here. I feel like it's an important thing to do. I'm going to go ahead and mute this. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you bearing with me. But like I was saying, we got to help get the word out on this young lady. There she is. Her name is Taylor Ray Kernia, I believe is how you pronounce that last name. But like I was saying, she's been missing for, I guess, about 10 days now. So, us being in the South, we do tend to reach more people in our area than further out. So if by any chance you guys have seen this young lady, please get a hold of the Chickamauga Police Department and let them know. We sure would appreciate it. And I will try to pop this up periodically throughout the show as a kind of reminder for more people that come in and out. But yeah, we would appreciate your help there, guys. All right. I don't think I've got anything else that I need to touch on. So I will go ahead and bring our guest on. I just found out that Tanya had to run out for a moment, but she will be back. So it's just going to be Mark joining us for a minute, but that will be just fine. We'll go ahead and bring him on. Hey, Mark, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well. So Tanya had to step out for a minute, huh?
Yeah, she stepped out. She should be right back.
Okay, that's fine. Just whenever she gets back, have her sit on back down there, and we'll talk to her a little bit.
All right.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on tonight and talk to us a little bit about what you guys have been seeing.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, awesome, man. And I was telling the guys or the audience a little bit before you came on how you and I got in touch. You bought some property in Oklahoma. Whereabouts is that property?
It's southeastern Oklahoma. It's going to be in the San Boyas Mountain region up in that area.
Okay, and you said that there has been Bigfoot activity.
There has been, just what I've heard, there has been up there. And, I bought it mainly for hunting, later, build a cabin or something. But, I'm also want to do a little research. I'm looking around up there also. So, but yeah, there has been some activity up there that I've heard.
Yeah, very cool. I appreciate you thinking about us and inviting us to come up there and check it out. I'd love to take you up on it someday soon. That'd be awesome.
You bet.
All right. So what got you interested or started in this topic? How long has it been, and what happened?
I've been in it quite a while now. I just always been interested in it, and it might have started back. My dad, a long time ago, we used to hunt up in northern Indiana, and he told me a little story when I wasn't with him. He was up hunting and had a little encounter, and ever since then, coming up, the more I heard about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, I was, got more and more interested. So I've been researching it, for quite a bit now, quite a long time.
Do you care to share the experience your dad told you about?
No, not at all. Not at all. He's actually watching right now. So
awesome.
But the way he told me, he was out there in northern Indiana. I guess it was, snowing, pretty cold out. And I guess he was sitting against a tree, deer hunting. And he said he was sitting there by himself thinking, and he turned and he looked real quick. And he said he seen a tall, like a guy with reddish brown hair. And he said he looked, and it caught him off guard because he's out in the middle of nowhere. And he looked back real quick and it was gone. So that piqued my interest. So ever since then, I've been looking into it. The older I got, the more and more I've been looking into it. And
so you said that your dad was driving. It was
no, he was deer hunting. He was sitting on a tree in the middle of nowhere.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
Wow. There's Tanya. How you doing tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, you're perfectly fine, man. I'm glad that you could make it. Mark is just telling us about his father's experience that piqued his interest, and you said that he was hunting. So was he walking?
No, I believe he was sitting down on the ground against a tree, leaning back.
Okay.
And then I guess he just felt like he was being watched. So he turned and he seen what looked like a big, hairy man, I guess reddish or brownish, and red hair on his face, I guess. And he said he turned back, and he turned back again real quick. He couldn't believe it, and he said it was gone.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So that kind of piqued my interest growing up. And then, like I said, the older I got, the more I got into it and just kept looking into it. And I'm always out in the woods doing something, so I'm always looking for something.
Okay. And Tanya, same question to you, ma'am. What got you interested, and Was it this gentleman sitting beside you that did it?
He did. He did.
Okay. All right. And all right. So you said that you've been doing some research for a while now. Let's talk about who had the first experience. Was it a joint experience or?
Yes, the main experience was a joint experience.
Y'all care to talk about that? Just give as much detail as you can. And well, we had a question here for you. What I was talking about. It's hard for me to listen to you guys talk and then read the comments, and
Sure.
it's hard to do with one person, but we'll get to. Aubrey Allen is asking, is a place near Hugo, Oklahoma?
No.
It would be north of Red Oak.
North of there?
North of Red Oak.
Of Red Oak, okay.
Okay. Lover's Cave area.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and go into that experience, guys.
Well, it's I guess you could say you were kind of a skeptic.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. I just thought it was fake.
And I'm always looking into things, watching documentaries, and just anything and everything I can get my hands on. So she's hearing this whole time. So this is saying this now because it's gonna come later in the story, but she was actually listening to the stuff, just nonchalantly. So we were at the time, about 3 years ago?
Yes.
About 3 years ago, we were hunting in deer hunting in northeast Texas. We were on a lease. It's like an 800-acre lease. And so, she hunts with me. We bow hunt and everything. And so we usually camp and or get a hotel or something like that when we go. But we left Friday and it was late when we got there. So we decided to just sleep in the truck. It was her, myself, and my son. So we pull in late. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning. We pulled down in the trees, down this little creek bed. So we slept right there. Got up probably about 4:30, headed to our stands about, 5-ish, 5:15, something like that. It is pitch black. And so we go get in our ground stand. We're in the ground stand. And when you're walking up to it, you leave the truck. You got to go through the creek and you go up maybe a 30-foot hill. Once you get on top of it, there's a little clearing in the trees and a little path. There's a fence line. And then to the right, you take off to the left, there's a little path. Then it starts going just a little bit down the hill. And so our ground blind's right there, and we're get in it, and we're sitting there, and it's just totally quiet. And all of a sudden, you can hear some dogs in the distance starting to bark and kind of howl. And then they're getting louder and louder and louder, and then coyotes, they start to howl, and everything else just going crazy, and it was crazy. So then all of a sudden, you heard this. I don't know. It was all the howls you hear, the audios you hear that are recorded, the scream or howl. And it was so loud that you could feel it in your chest. So
it was long.
It was long. It had to last probably 40 seconds, maybe 30, 40 seconds. It seemed like it lasted forever, but it was the loudest thing I ever heard, out in the woods like that.
We hear that all the time, and just about any report, you hear the vibration. You can feel it in your chest, and I just wonder because I've heard howls before, but I've never experienced feeling one. So it just makes me think that when people accounts like yours, when you're actually feeling it, these things got to be close.
I believe it was. I really do. And the best way to describe it, it's not as intense. But if you've ever been to a drag race, top field dragsters, it's when they take off, your whole body shakes in your chest. You can feel it in your chest.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, similar, but not as intense. And it really shocked me.
It's hard to believe a living, breathing creature producing that kind of volume.
Yeah, exactly. But so it seemed like it lasted forever. And then finally, once it quit hollering, everything just total silence. You couldn't hear anything. It just total silence. So we sit there, and I knew what it was just from hearing audio. I was like, that has to be what it is. Has to be Bigfoot. Has to be. So she's sitting next to me, kind of, and I don't want to say nothing to freak her out. We're in, like I said, middle of nowhere. It's dark. And then my son's around the corner, so I'm worried he's going to, freak out. And I was like, oh, man. So he's just staying calm. So we're sitting there, and it starts to get daylight. And my wife says, who's that over there? I was like, where? She said, over there. We looked out our ground blind toward that fence line. I looked, I said, there's no one over there. She said, yes, there is. And what was it? Was it dark?
It was like a dark silhouette.
Wow.
And
that's creepy.
You said you thought it's sitting on the fence.
I thought someone was actually sitting on the top rail of the fence.
And that fence had to be, for his bottom to be that high, that fence was probably 4.5 foot high, something like that. Yeah. So she kept saying it's right there. And I was like, well, maybe it's a game warden. I said, let me look again. So I'm looking. And I see what she sees. And then I put 2 and 2 together. And I'm like, wait a minute, we just heard this. And now she's seeing this. And I didn't want to freak her out. But right then and there, I was pretty sure what we were seeing. And I didn't have we were in danger feeling or anything. But
yeah, that's interesting, because I was going to ask you, that was going to be my question. Did you feel threatened?
You didn't?
No.
I didn't feel threatened. I just didn't want to, freak her out, because I actually ended up seeing what she was seeing. And it had to be, 4.5 foot fence, his bottom to be that high to the top of the fence, like he's sitting on it. Tells me, he had to be pretty tall.
Now, Tanya, to you, your perspective, you thought it was sitting on the fence. Mark, what did you think when you saw it?
What I thought when I seen it, like she said, you couldn't see it in detail. We're looking down this path. You can see it standing there. It's kind of like someone, like when they're sitting there with their arm on a fence post, just kind of kicking back, just kind of looking like this. It's kind of what I got out of it. It was hard. It's just now getting light. You can see enough to see there's something there. But it was like she said, it was a dark color.
Yeah, it was like a dark silhouette.
So
now, how far away is it, would you guys say?
I'm going to say maybe 30 yards, maybe.
Oh, wow.
30, 40 yards, maybe 40, but in that area.
That's close.
Yeah, so it's getting daylight enough we can see each other, but now it's just a path, and we have trees down both sides of us, all surrounded by trees except for that path. And it was standing at the end of the path against the fence where we walked in. So we seen that, and it actually ran through my head. I was like, man, we actually slept down that hill in that creek in the truck, not too far from that. Never had any problem. But, I was thinking, I was like, for it to scream like that and holler, and it probably knew we were sleeping in that truck, so
yeah,
it's checking us out. But yeah, so
who all did you say slept there? You two and your son?
My oldest son. Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 of you, and y'all slept in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee y'all had a visitor.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I did, I had that night. I had a hard time. Of course, it was 1 o'clock. We was up at 4:30, whatever. But I had a hard time falling asleep. It's like something was there, and I thought it was just me being paranoid. But thinking back now,
so you had a paranoid feeling the night before this happened?
No, well, yeah. Well, we got there late Friday night. This incident happened Saturday morning. So while we were sleeping Friday, when we got there Friday night into Saturday morning, I had kind of a paranoid feeling. I just couldn't sleep. Yeah,
we as human beings, we don't need to ignore these feelings. You hear it all the time. People talk about the feeling of being watched, and then 5 minutes later, something like this happens. and then you had a weird feeling, had a hard time falling to sleep. Your family's there. You feeling like you got to protect them. Dad mode kicks in.
Right.
And you're paranoid and you're having a hard time sleeping, and then you see this thing the next day. There's something in us that warns us. I really believe that.
Yeah, me too.
So Tanya, you said that all you could really see was a silhouette.
Yes.
So and it's just starting to get daylight at this point. How long did it stay there? What did you watch it walk away? How did this experience
I would
end?
say maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I turned around and I looked again, and it was gone.
Okay, so y'all see it, and then you kind of stop paying attention to it, and then a few minutes later you look again, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, no, it's just nothing. Again, I'm trying to stay calm,
He was
keep her
blowing
calm.
it off.
Because
So you were trying to keep her calm.
Yes. Because
Okay.
I finally realized, like I said, put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a threatened feeling, so I just kind of try to blow it off. Hey, let's hunt and keep her calm.
And you're hunting. You've got probably a high-powered rifle in your hand. So
Actually,
we had our bows.
I did have my 40. I had my 44 Magnum on my hip because down here in Texas we can carry a firearm now when we're hunting. So while we're hunting, so I did have that.
That makes you feel a little better.
It did.
Anytime I'm out in the woods, my 45 is on my hip, knowing that with a 45 or something like that, it would take a perfect shot. In my opinion, a perfect shot to take one of these things down. But you still get that sense of security.
You do, and yes, you do. And I've actually thought about that. I would never go out and look to shoot a Bigfoot. Never. I just wouldn't do it. But for protection, I've thought about it. I was like, I really don't know if I would actually try to shoot them because you might just make it more mad, or I really don't think it would affect it that much.
Exactly. When we go out, like I said, I got the 45 on my hip all the time. It is not intended for me to bring one of these things home. It's intended. Right. I don't know what else is out there, and it might not be a Bigfoot. It could be a hog, a bear, something like that. I'm just doing it to protect myself.
Exactly. It could be anything. Yeah.
We got a question here from my good buddy Rick. He's saying he's late joining, but was there a smell? Quiet. You did mention it was very quiet in the area. And what about eye shine? So what about a smell and any eye shine?
I really,
I didn't smell anything.
It was deadly quiet. There was no noise whatsoever. Usually that early in the morning, you hear birds chirping and things like that. There was nothing. I didn't hear anything. Did you?
No.
So eye shine, no, because it was already getting daylight. Like I said, we couldn't see much detail. I couldn't. It was just looked like a big furry, just a black silhouette.
That's what I was about to. My next question was, Tanya said it. You guys can make out the silhouette. So since it's that dark, I'm assuming there wasn't a lot of features that you could make out, or was there?
No,
there really wasn't.
Where we were sitting.
I can tell you this: at first, before I seen it, I thought it really was a game warden or something. But when I finally seen what she was talking about, I know it wasn't a human. It was just way too big.
Okay.
You could tell that. You could tell the size. Especially, like I said, his bottom was right there at the top of the fence line because she thought it was sitting on it. And
did you see any movement at all?
Thinking back, I do. It was kind of not much, maybe kind of like that. But that's about it. I didn't see it walk off. I'm like her. I was just focusing on keeping her, let's hunt. She kept looking, it's hard not to, and I'm sitting there going, oh man, kept kind of look, but I'm the same way. When I finally looked over, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, it was just gone. So, I mean, I know without a doubt there was something there.
Okay, now you guys thought originally that it was sitting on the fence. Now looking back, have you ruled that out? Do you think that it was just standing and the appearance was it was sitting on the fence, or are you still leaning towards it was sitting?
I'm not. When I looked over, I'm pretty sure it was standing.
Okay.
Just because I could see him standing, the silhouette. It's just he was just that tall. And you see a black, just a silhouette, and it's just like I said, his rear end was to the top of the fence. So from her point of view, I believe we're reversing the camera, but this is exactly how we were sitting in the ground blind, and it would be, well, yeah, to that side of me. So she's looking across me, and I'm turning, looking. So
yeah,
we got a pretty good shot through our window in our blind. So.
Okay, so after you guys settle down, you notice that this thing's gone. You settle down. Where's your son at while all this is going on?
Okay, he's probably another. Like I said, we're bow hunting, so he's in a tree stand, probably straight down that fence line. Keep going from where we've seen it, about another 50 to 60 yards down that fence line, up in a tree stand.
Did he tell you anything? Did he see or hear anything?
He did not, and we asked him, "Did you hear that noise?" And he might have heard it. He's just more of a skeptic. He's just like, he don't want nothing to do with it. No, it's not real. I didn't hear nothing. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could you not hear that? You're just in denial, son. So it's I was worried about that though, because I told my wife, I was like, I wonder if Trey's okay. His name's Trey. So but when it just disappeared, I'm like, my son is down that trail, up in that tree stand. And then I got to worrying then. At that point, I was like, man, I'm ready to end this right now, end this hunt, and I don't remember, did we end up just saying, forget it, we'll come back in that evening, or did we stay?
We stayed a little bit.
Did we?
Yeah. Because
I was going, now we have to walk exactly where it was standing. We have to walk through that exact spot. Even though I didn't feel threatened. Did you feel any?
No.
I was like, okay, now Trey's got to walk back down that fence line, and then we got to meet up and then, walk through where he was, or it was. So.
Now, did you end up walking by the where you guys saw it at? Did you walk in the area, and if so, did you look for any signs?
We walked through exactly where it was standing, and at that point, I did not. I was looking around because I knew it had to be in that area. I was more concentrating on getting her and my son out of there back to the truck. So I did tell her, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I just adding in my 2 cents. The people will always question that. Like, why didn't you? I would have went over there. I would have done this. Yeah. I would have done that. I'd have been looking for all this. And you don't know what you would have done until you're in the situation. I tell the story about the time we were on an expedition. There was 4 of us, and it was like midnight, 11 o'clock midnight, and I had an uneasy feeling all night, and I decided I wasn't going to go on the night hike that we used to do. So one of our members' grandsons, 13 years old, he wasn't crazy about going on the night hike, so he stayed back at camp with me, and the 2 other guys went, and they weren't gone 10 minutes before something let loose that wasn't very far away, and it sounded like the most demonic, terrifying laugh you had ever heard. It was like a laugh and a bark combined, like a bark and then into a laugh, or vice versa, a laugh into a bark. Mm-hmm. And if you know who Thinker Thunker is, he has a video on his channel, and if you'll look it up, it's I think it's called Bigfoot Cackling or something like that. It's the Native American guy on the reservation, and he's got this noise going off in his background. And it sounds like a hyena laughing. Yeah. That's what we heard probably a dozen times within a 30-second or a 45-second span. And I said all of that to get to this point. Keep in mind, we're there looking for Bigfoot. That's the only reason we're there. We've got all this equipment. We've got thermal, the camcorders, audio equipment, parabolic mic, all this stuff. And the only thing I do is pull my gun off my hip. That's all I did. I stood there. I had a recorder in my pocket. I had camcorders over here. I had a thermal. I got none of that stuff out because I was that scared. I had no idea what that sound was. So you guys not going right over there and looking and chasing it and doing all that stuff, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And because people will always ask, well, I would have done this. Why didn't you go and do this? No, buddy, you don't know what you would do.
I did think about it, but you're exactly right. I mean, if it would have been me by myself, I don't even know if I would have seen it. But I probably would have checked it out. But like I said, being with my wife and my son, that was the primarily on my mind, making sure they're safe.
Yeah.
And because it was there, I know it was there. It didn't threaten us. It didn't, I was waiting for it to throw something or scream again or something. But
so you guys heard the just to recap, you heard the one scream. Was it one scream that you heard?
It was a house. It's, you hear a lot of these audio recordings of Bigfoot, doing a long howl. That's exactly what it was. We even got home and I pulled up a video and I was like, there you go. It sounded just like it.
Like the Ohio howl. Is that what you're talking about?
It's a scream and a howl mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Matt Moneymaker is the one that recorded that a long howl, and it's called the Ohio howl.
I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like 1994, 96 or something like that. It sounds like a siren, like an air raid siren.
Is that what you got? More of a...
It was just like a long howl. I don't know.
And it was a mixture between a long howl and a scream. Almost, I guess, kind of like, it did kind of sound like an air raid siren there toward the end, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was just unbelievably loud.
Okay, so you heard the scream, and then later on you had the visual, and that's a good encounter, and it's creepy, too. It's got that creep factor. You're sitting there with your wife hunting, and she looks over and says, "Who's that?" And it says a lot, in my opinion. You got the people that'll say it was a bear. It says a lot for her to say, "Who's that?" instead of "What's that?"
Yeah.
And for her to say, "Who's that?" it registered to her as a person.
Right.
Yeah. So Trey was fine. Everything. Didn't see any prints, nothing like that.
We didn't. We walked, I'm talking right over where it was standing. We had to. No other choice. Well, I guess we could have walked through the woods, but I had to go down that trail because Trey was going to walk down that fence line and meet us right there, right where it was standing. So we get there, I'm looking all around because I'm nervous. I'm like, man, just let us get to the truck. Let me get them to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was worried about. Like I said, if it was me, I would have stayed there and looked around. And but I even told her, I said, when we come back, if I come back by myself and you're not with me, I said, I'm going to stay out here, let's say camp out or something or all night and do some research while I'm hunting, and I want to go back and look for more tree breaks and stuff like that and all, whatever I can find, just out of curiosity.
Do you still have access to this property?
I do not. We were leasing that, and then we left there and went a little bit more southeast to some family property, her stepdad's property, and started hunting there. But yeah, we, like you mentioned, we got that land up in Oklahoma. I'm going to be spending a lot of time up there and doing research because we have access to a lot more property than what we actually purchased.
Okay.
So, not only for hunting, but I'm going to use it for that and just, see what I can find. It's mainly for me. I'm not trying to prove to anybody it exists. I've seen it. I know, and it's just for myself. So
yeah. So there was a second experience, correct?
There was.
Okay.
There was, yeah.
You guys want to, and if I remember correctly, it might be a little on the weird side.
It is a little on the weird side to some people, and some people it's not.
Oh, well, we can do weird. Let us have it.
Okay. Well, I'll go way back, and I've always been interested in, just anything in the sky, UFOs, and everything like that.
Mhm.
Me and her actually lay out during the summer. Pretty much every Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
We'll lay out there all night long, just looking up at the stars and looking for weird things flying through the sky at night. And we actually were laying out there one Friday night, middle of the summer, and you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have told you if I have to like position or do anything like that, I'll cut the camera off. But you guys keep going. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So we're laying out there. We're we usually listen to music, lay outside, and just look up at the stars. And so I got her interested in laying out looking for UFOs and stuff. And she's actually hadn't seen them, and she didn't believe that either. So we're laying there, and we actually see one flying across the sky. And I've heard researchers say yes, they're not from this realm, from this dimension. And then I'll hear the one saying no, it's something else. And I didn't make up my mind at that time, but I did know, and I was joking with her. Telepathically, people are saying, you can reach out to whatever, alien life or whatever. So I was joking with her. It was flying across, and it zigzagged, and it kind of stopped, and it kind of crept on. And I was just like, "Hey, y'all, come back down here." I was joking, and I laughed, and I said, "No, really, seriously, you're really not supposed to do that telepathically. It might get through to them. It's what I heard. I don't know." So I get up, and she's still just kind of laying there. It's dark. It's late. Heck, it might be 2 a.m, I think.
Yeah, it's late.
And so I get up real quick and run around and had to relieve myself real quick. I'll come right. I was coming back before I could turn around. She goes, "Mark, again, what is that standing over there?" And it's on our own property this time. We live out in the country, and it's probably another 30, 40 yards away also. And it's cleared up to where it is, the fence line. And then we have trees, cedar trees, the rest of the way. It goes down a hill. So I'm looking at it, and it's like the same thing we've seen before. What would you see? I mean,
just a silhouette, but it was dark, but you could still see like an outline.
And to me, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was literally pretty much in shock, and I walked closer and closer. And I was like, "Mom, I'm just getting tired." And I kept looking, and you could tell it was a Bigfoot looking creature. So, and this is what got me, because I didn't believe this part myself. I just wasn't into it until I seen it myself. And this is hard to believe for a lot of people, but I seen it. And I was actually watching it. And that's kind of like I was like, I couldn't say nothing to her or nothing. I was just kind of like a big orange, I'd say about the size of a basketball. The figure just kind of, and there was a big orange, bright basketball shaped like orb that was translucent. It was weird. It was like a kid blew a big old bubble, clear bubble, but it had like bright orange in it. And it just kind of hovered there.
In the area where you saw this figure?
Mm-hmm. Right there. The figure was gone. And like I said, I don't know what was wrong. I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't do nothing. I was just in shock. And it was the prettiest color. I mean, it was just weird. So it kept, it was kind of just floating around like a bubble. And it wasn't breezy, but it was just floating around, and it was just sitting there like it was just checking us out. And I'm just sitting there staring at it, and it kind of slowly goes down toward the trees and just up and down, and finally goes down in between the trees and up above him, back down in it, and just vanished. And that was really weird. Really, really, really weird. So
There's some kind of connection with these orbs, man.
You know what?
There is.
You're right. Now I do believe it. I mean, I almost swear. Yeah, I have no doubt. They're me personally. I don't think they're from this dimension. That's me, but could be wrong. But after seeing that, I'm like, I lean toward that side because I actually seen it.
You told me to check out a documentary, and I did. The name of it is escaping me though. Do you remember what the name was?
It is the Alien Bigfoot Connection.
Alien Bigfoot Connection, and that was it Hulu or no? It was Amazon Prime.
You can watch it on Amazon Prime. That's where I seen it. In the you can think you can actually watch it on YouTube now.
Yeah, some of these documentaries, man, they lose me. It's just a few minutes in, they're just so corny and cheaply made. But this one was really good. I'm glad you sent it to me, and it makes you think. So definitely, guys, I recommend that one. The is it the Alien Bigfoot Connection, something like that?
Alien Bigfoot Connection, and it's really interesting. And I actually seen that after we had that encounter. And then that's when I really was like, no, I know.
Okay. Now, forgive me, but because I'm trying to read the comments and everything, but recap this last one. Did you guys see something in the sky?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did. And it's
what did that look like?
We don't see everything all the time, but we see quite a bit of stuff. And I guess it looked like just a bright light. We're looking. It was real small. What do you remember?
Just like a light that zigzags. You know, it's not an airplane, and it just like zigzags.
But
it's like they shoot off.
It looked like a small satellite. You know, we've all seen the satellites fly through the sky. It started out at that, then it came down. It's like it got closer and closer, and it was like she said, zigzagging, just all crazy.
I got hold that thought for just a second. I got a guy here that I think y'all may know, Mr. Mark Bone, and he says Mark's dad here. To clarify what I saw in Indiana, I was sitting there, and after I saw that big, hairy face, I turned back to look at it again. I could hear it running off, but I could not see it.
Okay.
So he saw a hairy face, and then he could hear it running away. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
That's a cool encounter. Thank you for sharing that, Mark. I appreciate that. Well, Mark Sr., I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So I made sure I wanted to make sure I got your dad's comment in there. But so you saw something in aerial, I think they're calling them aerial phenomenon now, aren't they? UAP or something like that. I don't know. So you saw it like zigzagging around and it kind of took off?
Well, it zigzagged around and then it finally slowed down. It would just look like a clear light, like a light bulb in the sky, and then it slowed down and it started going off. I guess it would be to the south of us. It headed south real slowly. And then that's when I was joking around and said what I said. But after that, I believe that one shot off. It did shoot off. It shot off. That's when I got up and then she said, "Hey, what is that?" So, yeah.
Okay. So after you saw it shoot off, when did you first notice the orb or the figure?
No, it was the figure, because she brought it to my attention.
How long after the aerial phenomenon went away did you notice the figure?
Within 10 seconds, probably.
Yeah, right after.
Right after.
What made you look over there? What got your attention?
Her? What?
I don't remember. I just looked, and I don't like to be outside at night anyways. So I just looked around at my surroundings. I just happened to look.
Wow, you're the one catching them. You got to take her with you when you go, bud.
Well, I think, yeah, I know. And I think what it is I got up. Like I said, we lay out, like we'll lay out on the trampoline and, just look up and stuff like that. I got up. She automatically going to sit up, kind of make sure I'm around, So,
yeah.
So I think that's what you did. And she was looking straight ahead. It was right in front of her, right in front of us.
About how far away?
I'm going to say 30, 40 yards probably.
And again, it was dark, so couldn't make out a whole lot of features, right?
No.
Okay, so you're seeing the figure. At what point do you notice the orb?
I'm staring at the figure, and it's like it just kind of just disappeared. Just no more figure, and then instantly a basketball-sized shaped orb. Just like instantly.
It just got weird.
But weird.
So you're looking at this figure, and it all of a sudden is no more, and then there's a basketball there, like something that looks like a basketball.
Yes, but it's translucent. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
it's like a bubble, just a bubble you would blow, a kid would.
Yeah,
so, size of a basketball, and it was translucent, but it had like a bright orange glow to it. But it was still translucent.
So weird, man.
And I couldn't believe it. I just sat there and stared at it. And I told her, I said, I don't know why I couldn't say anything to you. I just stared.
Tanya, did you see the orb?
I wasn't paying attention. And a lot of times when we're out there, I may see something and he won't, because we're looking at different directions. And then he'll see something and he'll ask me, did you see that? And I'll look real quick and it's gone.
Yeah.
But there has been a few times where we've both seen the same thing, but I wasn't paying attention when the orb with the orb thing.
There's some kind of connection, man. There's got to be. And when I started doing this, I'm a lifelong believer. When I was in elementary school and go to the library, I'd look for Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster books, Chupacabra, anything weird, any cryptids. I didn't know they were called cryptids back then, but so I've always been interested. But since I started really getting heavy into it, almost 2 years ago now, I think next month will be 2 years. I've been in the biological camp. These things are flesh and blood. They're an animal. This is an unknown primate in North America that we just haven't caught up with yet. It's one of God's creations, and we just don't know a lot about it. That's been my mindset. But then I hear these encounters, and then you guys, this is a new one for me. You guys come on and talk about this, and it just makes you think, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something to it. And then you add to it, the government is coming out now, and they're admitting that there's something going on with these UFOs.
Yeah, declassification and
yeah. So what are they going to admit next?
You're exactly right. And I was like you. I was like, well, it's God's creation and whatever. But I'm almost certain now. I'm leaning to the other side. It's just it's something else.
And there's that divide in the Bigfoot community. You got the flesh and blooders, and then you got the woo. And there's got to be a line in the middle somewhere. There's got to be a combination, because more and more credible people are coming forth with experiences just like the one you guys are talking about. I'm sure y'all weren't messed up on drugs or falling over drunk or nothing. And even if you were, I've been drunk before. I've never seen a giant hairy man in the woods. I've had too much to drink.
She don't drink, and she don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. She might have a glass of wine every now and then,
Yeah.
Something.
That's a silly argument in my opinion anyway. What were you drinking? Don't matter what I was drinking. I could have been drinking moonshine.
I seen what I've seen.
It was there.
Yeah. And we're surely not going to be drinking, that early in the morning. Now, it's some Friday nights. I drink my beer. I don't drink hard liquor or anything like that.
Yeah. But I bet it's never made you see a giant that wasn't there, did it?
No,
No,
not at all.
What did I tell you guys before we came on? That the hour would fly by, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We're coming up on an hour right now. That's a good place to end it, I think. Guys, I wanted to thank you for taking the time again to come on and share these experiences. This was a really good show. I'm glad you guys did it, hung out with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. Anytime you're ready to go up and do some exploring up there, let me know. I'm going to be spending a lot of time up there, hopefully.
You and I have been talking a little bit over the last month or so I think we'll keep in touch, and definitely if anything, as you're finding stuff out on your property, send it my way, man, and you get some good evidence, we'll bring you back on and share it right here.
Sounds great.
All right, buddy, thanks again, and y'all have a good night. Okay, we'll see y'all later.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, how about that, guys? Good show. Mark and Tanya are a couple of really, really good people. Glad they came on. Before we get out of here, I do want to bring this up one more time. Guys, if you have any information or if you have seen this young lady, Miss Kernia, Italian Ray Kernia, and I could be butchering her name. I don't know, but if you have any information, guys, please contact the Chickamauga, Georgia authorities. I don't know how much I should or shouldn't share. I know what Greg had told me. There might be a learning difficulty in play here. I don't know. I don't know anything about this young lady, but we do know that trafficking is a problem in the U.S. And not saying at all that that's what this is. I don't know if they're leaning towards that or anything. It's just I'm a dad. I have girls, and this would absolutely break my heart. So yeah, guys, anything that we can do to get the information out there, let's do it. Let's get this young lady back home, back to her parents. All right. Something I didn't hit on before we got started. Still have decals available. Debuted them last week, and not even 5 minutes after the show ended, I received the first purchase. Gentleman reached out and bought 5 of the black ones. So I want to give a very special thank you to Mr. Kenneth, who purchased all 5 of the black ones. They are in the mail, buddy. They are headed to you, and we sold a couple after that as well. But we still have them. Love for you guys to pick one up. And if you would like to, they are $6 a piece. We got gold, silver, and white left. They are $6, and as long as you live in the lower 48, and the continental U.S., there won't be any shipping. I can just put them in an envelope, and I'll cover the stamp to get them to you. But the Mannimal research there is my PayPal. So if you'll go to PayPal, send $6 to Mannimal Research, and in the notes, just include which color you would like and your address. I'll be happy to get it in the mail and get it out to you. Again, guys, we don't get paid to do this stuff. It comes out of our pocket, so just trying to make a little money to help us get out and buy more equipment, new equipment, and pay for our expeditions. So that's all we're really trying to do. But again, you're pretty cool. So guys, pick you up some of those. We would appreciate it. Again, manimalresearch@yahoo.com. All right, guys, it is time for me to get out of here. No, we did this on a Wednesday night instead of Sunday. I needed to move it, moved it to Tuesday, and then Mark had something come up. We couldn't do it Tuesday. So we moved it to today. Glad that we got it done. Guys, appreciate everything that y'all do. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for everything you do. Keep the missing young lady, keep her and her family in your prayers, and more importantly, if you have any information at all, let's get it turned in, guys, to the Chickamauga, Georgia Police Department. All right, guys. All that being said, I'm gonna close like always, telling you guys, be safe, be good to each other, be careful, and we will catch you later. Thanks, guys.